Also,
Hey, we're live. Lauren, that's your cue now.
All right, that's my cue now. Hi, everybody. Welcome to what we are calling Flight of the Apollyon. Flight of the Apollyon, an Armor Esther live play game. Armor Esther, Armor Estir. I will get it right one of these days. I need to tweet at Briar and be like, correct me. And she will. We left off. Actually, let's talk about the players we got. I'm gonna go to who is to the right of me first. Kit.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. I am playing. That's a good question. I am playing.
We're all totally here and ready to be doing this right now.
we may have started drinking before.
I am playing Cyril von Jaeger. Yes, he is a. I don't remember what my playbook is.
Is it engineer?
The builder guy.
The builder guy. Fantastic. I swear we know what we're doing.
We are professionals.
Artificer. I am an artificer.
My brain kept wanting to go arcanist, and that is not correct.
Not
but
correct.
Speaking of, to the right of Kit is Liz.
Oh, hey! My name is Liz. I am playing Seisha. Seisha is, I always get it wrong, an arcanist? Is that the word?
Yes, that's why I segued, because I kept wanting to call Cyril an arcanist.
Yeah! Who I realized I never described last game, but whatever. That's okay. Which do you look like? We did descriptions.
We did. I think we did descriptions.
Yeah, and I goofed.
Well, you look cool as hell, and you got a cool flying
Big
nun. Weird nun mech. And it's great.
I'll finish. I'll give it feet one day, and then I'll post it.
I'll give it feet.
Who needs feet?
I know.
And then down below we have Kim.
Hi, I'm Kim. I'm playing Farina Talbot, the witch. So, who also has a bloodlust apparently when she gets in her mech. So that's fun.
So is that new from the update?
No, that's just her personality.
Oh, okay. Because I know Armor Esther has updated since we've last played. And a lot of people got new moves. A lot of people got lost some moves. We'll see what happens there, but we're actually going to get to the conflict turn, which is going to be fun. And then below Kim is Drew.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Drew, and I'm playing Alexander Dumorn, the captain of this crew, if we're going to call it that.
Captain of the giant, horrible flying crab.
That's one way to describe the ship.
The Apollyon, this horrible, horrible thing. Last time, as a brief recap, we did a bit of an introduction as the crew rescued Vicar Deisman Dell, the leader of the Bellboys, as he was being transferred into the Iron Tower prison. I believe Iron Tower is definitely what I called it.
Yes, I believe so.
Yep, the Iron Tower. We skirmished with the Archon of the Dawn, Luciel Montres, and some other authority. The order, other members of the Order of Parsoon and the Arcanate, and then made a daring escape with the rescued vicar. And now we are going to transition into the conflict turn and downtime. And I was originally going to do downtime first, but I realized one of the downtime moves works best if it happens after the conflict turn. So we're going to do conflict turn first, which means we're zooming out. We are pulling the camera away from our characters and looking at the world sort of writ large here. During the conflict turn, each of the divisions, which are the three sort of internal factions within the authority, the Order of Parsoon, are going to make a big move. And we're going to play a little mini game based around that big move to see who between the authority and the cause comes out on top. So these play out a lot like if you are familiar with Mobile Frame Zero Firebrands or my game Kissing Capes, they play out a lot like the individual challenges in those games. So just to go over a couple things first, the stuff we have on the board, there are 3 divisions within the Order of Parsoon. We have the Arcanate, which are a military division. They are pulled from the best of the best students at the College of the Ascendancy. The Arcanate is the premier military organization of the Order of Parsoon. These students are trained to take care of and pilot austeres and believe in the rules and laws of the authority. Those who prove themselves become archons, talented channelers that bind demons into the cores of their austeres, warping them into terrifying war machines. Under the current rules, which is not a thing we had before, so I've kind of adjusted this. Each individual division has what we call stake, which is sort of like it's a broader scope of its resources. In the case of the Arcanates, they are military, and their stake is troops. They have 3 stake of troops, which is sort of a nebulous. We have this many troops, and then they have keys. Keys are both assets and personnel. These are things that are important to them, and these are things you can target and destroy. If they lose stake, they lose a key. If they gain stake, they gain a key. The keys for the Arcanate are first the asset, the Alabaster Hall. The Alabaster Hall is sort of the Jedi temple of the Arcanates. This is where the initiates, the neophytes, are building and maintaining austeres and going through like VR training, which in this is the equivalent of like someone casts a dream spell on you and you are put into like a shared dream with another pilot to like practice austere combat. This is where once you have graduated from the College of the Ascendancy and you are accepted into the Arcanate, you kind of live your life here until you are work your way up the ranks and become an Archon yourself. The other asset they have is the Presence of Parsoon, which is a massive tier 5 austere carrier. This is just like the Apollyon, a carrier capable of transporting austeres crewed by dozens. It looks like a rather large, kind of spiky, steel, white, and gold airship. I don't have like a big visual reference for it. My little bit of touchstone here is a combination between the airship Bahamut from Final Fantasy XII and the tanks of the Sisters of Battle from Warhammer 40k, which are like giant pipe organs turned into tanks, and they're really rad. Drew to a double take, and yes,
It's too much. It's too much there.
Their third key is personnel, which is a particularly powerful individual, which is High Archon Maldivis of the White Sun, and he pilots the austere, the Fang of Barbatos. All of the austeres are named after basically the demons that have been bound into them, which I'm pulling from Lesser Key of Solomon here. High Archon Maldivis of the White Sun is the Archon who sort of presides over any of the lesser archons. They're going to have to do with like day and night cycles and the sun and sunlight and things like that. As we know, we saw last time the Archon of the Dawn, and we talked a little bit about how like that sounds like a really impressive title, and it like mostly means that she is just like up early and like getting ready for a lot of like rituals and things, not that she's actually super important. They have a lot of esoteric titles and a huge amount of bureaucracy, and their move is they may reduce the stability of the entire authority, the Order of Parsoon, and in exchange they can increase the stake of any division by 1 up to a max of 5. Effectively what that means is they pull on the resources of the whole to make one division stronger. If the current stability of the authority is 9, if it ever hits 0, the authority is destroyed. So that's kind of the goal of this game, is to reduce their stability to 0, because in doing so, they're gone. If you reduce a division's stake to 0, that division is dispersed. So moving on, the next is the Hall of Maesters. The Hall of Maesters is a research division. The hierarchy of the College of Ascendancy is esoteric and meets frequently to receive grants for experimentation and development by siphoning magic from the students. They serve as the research branch of the authority within the twisting halls of the college's within the twisting halls of the colleges, dark and secret experiments occur that would shake the very core of any man. We talked about this briefly, both in our world building and sort of in the last episode. The authority is like siphoning magic off of students. To what end, we don't really know, but they're doing it. And Fab's character Seisha has experience with that firsthand. Oh, Kitty.
Friend. Yes, sorry.
It was an unintentional pun. Their stake is students, and they have 4 stake. The maximum a faction can have is 5, so they're pretty important as far as the authority is concerned. Their ability is every turn, every conflict turn, they may start or advance a 4-step clock titled Introduce or Improve a Magical Design. As those get completed, the authority is going to have more and more magical devices, or better ones at their disposal. Their keys are Asset, the College of Ascension itself. We've already talked about that at length. Asset, manipulatable students. As we've talked about previously, a lot of people want to do magic. The authority has kind of brainwashed people into thinking magic can only be done a specific way, and we very much know that is not true, because everyone on this crew uses magic in ways not approved by the authority. But, propaganda works and students get manipulated. Their other asset is stockpiles of magical resources. I don't know if you've ever been in a college chemistry course, but there are schools that have access to stuff that normal people just can't get. And that's exactly what they have here. Stockpiles of these magical resources. And then finally, they have one personnel, which is Professor Zendari of the College of the Blue Eye. The Professor Zendari is basically not the head of, but one of the higher ups, the most ambitious, doing the most work, who I am absolutely certain Seisha is aware of them as a person. Professor Zendari is she is kind of on the cutting edge here and very up and comer. And the College of the Blue Eye is a college that is focused on, I guess, the way in which magic can kind of work with the human body and psyche and spirit. And who knows what they're working on, but I bet it's not good. Yeah. Next, and the final division is the Order of the Rectification of Injustice, aka the Redcoats. We saw a few of them before. They 100% their aesthetic is Final Fantasy 14 red mages. And we've talked quite a bit about this in our Discord chat between last episode and now, about how the ways in which authoritarian and fascist governments are look, everything we wear has to be dope as hell. And these are people who wear dope as hell long red coats and have cool ruffs and cool hats with big feathers, but they're also just straight up cops and they fucking suck. These officers protect the citizens and arrest criminals. All subjective, of course. They pursue leads and deliver justice with their razor-sharp blades and magical spells. Their leaders are pulled from specific individuals who graduate within the College of Ascension with certain personality profiles and are then given command positions. They serve as the executive branch of the authority, and their stake is only 2. generally with the way magic and weapons are controlled, a handful of redcoats is more than enough for most, to handle just about anything. And there's a presence to them of like, look, we know those people are trained sword fighters and mages. One of them is worth 10 of us as far as the propaganda is concerned. And so, a few is worth a lot. Their move is every turn they start or advance a 4-step clock to increase the stability of the whole authority by 1. So they kind of feed into the Arcanate. They can increase the stability. The Arcanate can reduce the stability to boost everyone else. So it's this very big cycle of like, hey, come join the cops. And then the cops, help everybody get stronger and they appropriate resources and all sorts of stuff. And the military gets better. And it sucks. They have 2 assets, so they have 2 keys. One is the Iron Tower prison, which is we saw in last episode. That is their asset. And then they have 1 personnel, Investigator Captain Julianne Hawthorne. She is like, if there was like a head detective who like all the other detectives report to, it's her. She's the one who is like, if this was a procedural drama, it would be focused on her. She is the person who is finding things out. I'm gonna go, pound the pavement and find the criminals and get involved in really big, elaborate, like season-long arcs to take down some big drug kingpin or something like that. And she is very much a dangerous person you do not want to mess with. So, yes.
I missed a note because
cat. Oh, I'm sorry.
What is the redcoat's stake?
The redcoats have 2 stake. The Hall of Maesters has 4 stake, and the Arcanate has 3. So,
but so you said the Arcanate stake is troops, the Hall of Maesters is students, and the redcoats is
redcoats. It's cops. It's people out on the street. Yes, okay. Absolutely. So that is their that's all of their abilities, all of their stake, and how that works. So now I'm going to go over the cause. And I'm taking some time to focus on this because we're going to start diving into it in a moment, and I want to make sure everyone's aware of the mechanics. So the first member of the cause is you.
Hey,
the crew of the Apollyon. Which we know all about y'all so far, so I'm not going to delve into that too much. Your type is guerrillas, which means you harass the authority. And what that allows you to do is when your move triggers, you will be able to you give the party yourselves advantage when you make the next lead a sortie roll, which we did at the beginning of the session last time. Pardon me. You have a status called tapped. Tapped sort of means if you are tapped, which there are various things that can tap you, you are not currently capable of aiding the cause. Your resources are spread too thin. You are too hurt or bruised or beaten up or have to go to ground because the heat's on too high. Tapped factions are basically like, we can't do a whole lot right now, but you can still tap them one more time. If you tap a faction that's already been tapped, that faction is destroyed. They do one big final push and use all of their resources to help with something. And we'll get into how that's used soon. And then finally you have grip. Your grip is 0. Grip is if you get 3 grip, that represents a division having control over you, and they can wipe your faction out. The next, we have the Bellboys, who we saw last time. High upon the steeples the steeples of towers and churches, the Bellboys bind masonry and signal the passing of time with bronze chimes. They are hardy, they are live, and they hear more than most think. These parkour monks defy gravity and death daily to perform their duties and expose the secrets of the corrupt orders whose bells they ring. They are agents, and which means their move is authority operations are disrupted, they can remove 2 grip from a faction or a region. And we have regions, which we'll get to in just a second. Regions are like places where the authority has control. You can remove grip from them to liberate them. Next is the Kabbalists. In darkened alleys and hidden basements, the Kabbalists write hex code, summoning rituals, and I'm going to start that over. In darkened alleys and hidden basements, the Kabbalists write hex code summoning rituals on dimmed crystal slates and distribute open source spells to summon dark spirits and demons. They know the truth. Demons are just like any other spirit, only with darker tastes and a greater desire to aid us in exchange for sating them. This decentralized cabal of demon summoning magical girl hackers has lent its resources to the cause. Basically, they're a bunch of like underground cyberpunk magic hackers. They are strange, and their move is something unexpected and strange happens. That's it. And finally, we have 2 more. The Gloaming Coven. Within the College of Ascendancy, a rogue faction of students has become privy to far too much information. Charms, bribes, and the protection of a few key professors protect their clandestine efforts to uncover the Order of Parsoon's dark deeds. And their move is start or advance a 4-step clock to discover something new and useful. The final faction in the cause is the Remoras. The Remoras are sky pirates and nomads whose home was destroyed by the Authority and seized for its resources. These pilots perform daring raids on Authority military installations and convoys, securing supplies for the Resistance. Their abilities are to reduce a clock of the Authority by 1 step and increase a clock of the cause by 1 step. So far, nobody is tapped, and no one has any grip. We have a couple of regions on the next page. Basically, there are regions within the Bastion city of Talanthus. We've talked about these a little bit, and there are regions in the outskirts, which is sort of the areas beyond this big city that is a conglomeration of city-states. In the outskirts is where those parts of the continent that we had not built infrastructure on are just still out there. And so in the outskirts, there's the Amber Fields, the Iron Pines, and the Jewel Wake. The Jewel Wake is just massive fields of Levisite crystals and all sorts of gems and things that are kind of outside of the Authority's reach. It's mostly been strip mined by now, but on a way that the Authority does not see fit to expend massive amounts of resources to continue operations there. But there are many people still living out there, and that place has grip 0. The Iron Pines is just a very large forest of trees. They have grip 1 out there. They do patrols trying to find secret cause bases, and kind of have a few operations used as like preliminary testing grounds. Then there's the Amber Fields, where they have grip 2. The Amber Fields is the agricultural center that feeds the Bastion city of Talanthus. Long, just sweeping plains of grain and vegetables and windmills, and also it's just like Stardew Valley as far as the eye can see. But what if there was a bunch of like horrible mechs just watching over it? Like, hey, get back to work. And they have 2 grip there. Within the Bastion city of Talanthus, we have High Crown, which is basically where all the fancy nobles live, and that's grip 3. We know High Crown is kind of like the seat of the Authority's power. It's big castles and palaces where all sorts of archons and political officials meet, and then their homes are kind of in the tiered city around it. The Roads, which is where all the colleges are located, they have grip 3 there because, I mean, obviously they're just entrenched in that area. There's the Lev Works. The Lev Works, as we've talked about briefly before, are the bottom of the giant continent. And down there is where just massive throngs of people keep all of the Levisite crystals and machinery working so that the continent does not plummet out of the sky. Grip 2 there because obviously that's, everybody wants that working, including the Authority, but there is some sedition present. Port Callister. is the next region. Port Callister has grip 2. That is the ports. That is where ships come and go. There are not a ton of traders, but there are definitely free traders out there in the wider world who come and visit and will exchange goods. We also know, based off our world building session, and I don't know that it got talked about before, but Drew, I believe, created that there is a military like base down there. Where they can kind of launch ships and S-tiers from. Trying to figure out there was a name for that. And I'm gonna look it up because it was a cool name. Howell's Fort, known locally as the Depot. And this was created to address the rise in rebel factions and actions against the authority. So basically now the port is like under quite a bit of scrutiny. And then finally, there is Underdock. And Underdock is a city that has been built hanging off the bottom of the flying continent. This is grip 0 because ain't nobody goes to Underdock who isn't... It is the Tatooine of this place. It is a wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Sounds like where we go all the time.
It's probably where you go to chill or plan things, because you are all wanted criminals to one degree or another, and probably quite well liked in Underdock. So that kind of sets the stage for our conflict turn. Let's dive. Does anyone have any questions before we dive into the conflict turn?
Yes.
No, but I apologize for my cat.
That's mine. Wait,
well, no, your
it's
cat
both
is
of
being
ours.
loud. My cat is shoving her butt. I need to get. Do you remember those like cat jewels that you hung off the cat's tail to cover their?
Yeah.
That's what I need to get.
Absolutely.
Terrible.
I think your cat would look gorgeous with one of those.
I know.
Sorry, Kit, you had a question. What's up?
What about places like the Alpha Sector or Embercrest? Are they 0 grip or?
They are more. I didn't want to give you so many regions to focus on. Those are like, if you like, hey, we really want to deal with this, I'm like, cool, I'll figure it out. This was like, these are areas where we particularly put infrastructure, resources, and things that a resistance movement is going to want to hit and deal with.
Cool.
And so those are the ones I put up immediately. But if you're all like, what we really want to do is go fuck around in the Forge's Fire and like liberate that place, like, sure, yeah, give me 10 minutes. I'll read up the rules on assigning regions. We'll figure it out and we'll do something there.
Okay.
Assume they are anywhere between 1 and 2.
Okay.
They are not anything. Sorry,
They're just
anything within the Bastion City is not going to be a 0 because that's just where the authority is, and the High Crown and the roads, I think, are the only 3s. So pretty much everything else is just a 2, maybe a 1.
Super important.
Right. In infrastructure wise, those are places we can go, and we can absolutely set things there if everyone's like, this is where we want to go and what we want to do. Totally cool with that. They were just I had a limited amount of time to create some places.
Oh, makes complete sense.
I can just imagine. Oh, good.
Double check that it's not.
For sure. They're
We're
not
not
off
allowed
the
to
table.
go there.
Nope. You can go. You could look if y'all say, hey, fuck it, we're leaving this continent behind. Cool, that's a different game, but we can do it.
Fuck the world building we just did. Let's
I
go
know.
somewhere
Yeah,
else.
fuck
The
all
month-
of that.
The month of world building.
We're gonna set out, and guess what? We're playing Erica Chappell's Flying Circus now. Chapel,
God.
Chappelle, I'm not sure. She's cool and wrote a kick-ass game about World War II fighter pilots, but what if everything was magic? It's rad.
Listen, I'm already there, so
I was just gonna say, I can imagine Embercrest being Order of Flaris mostly.
Is that why you
Right.
wore that shirt?
Probably
Which
a
is-
1.
Which is like, they're probably a 1, but in the same way that like that's still somewhat tied into the authority.
Right, exactly. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
anyway.
So now that we've covered like the cause and what these kind of things are, and I know that was just a huge amount of information dump, but literally the rules got changed on us.
Yeah.
And I
Not
wanted to
most
make
of it.
sure. I wanted to make
same.
sure that this whole new thing, like, this is not how the conflict turn worked at all. Breyer completely revamped it. So how tapping factions work, now that we're there, is during this conflict turn, if you absolutely want to succeed and not leave it up to a roll, you can tap a faction who is involved and just be like, that's it, we expended resources and we're done. In order to, and there are other things where you can tap factions too, but that's like the main one. In order to untap a faction, you do that through the plan and prepare move, which is when we are planning a sortie, or you can do it using the downtime move liaison, which is where you go to that faction and help them get back on their feet. And that's why I decided to swap this and set downtime after the conflict turn. If a faction gets destroyed, that does not mean you are out of faction. A new one comes to take its place. Which, you know, we'll see what that looks like. Same is true of the Authority. If their divisions get destroyed, new divisions are created. But they have less power. So like over time, you're going to wear them down is kind of the thing. And they can also become wayward factions. That's a whole thing. We'll get to it if we get to it. So conflict turn. During the conflict turn, we will play out scenes to depict the cause's struggle to resist the Authority and its endeavors. Though this can be done alone. It used to be the way they changed, or the way Breyer changed it is now more about all of us playing together. So there are 3 steps. Choose which scene a division will start. Resolve that scene by playing out 3 challenges, and then take the results of those scenes and bring them into the broader fiction. So step 1, choose a scene. We're going to play 3 conflict scenes. One is tied to each division of the Authority. So if y'all have the PDF up, which you probably will need to at least for the first one.
I did ask if we pinned the link to the updated book because I can't find it in the pinned messages.
Got it.
I thought it was posted, but I don't know if it was pinned.
Let me find it and I will send it to you.
Okay, thanks.
So let me just go over the types of conflict scenes we can play first. And again, sorry for the massive amount of info dump here. I swear we're going to get some actual cool shit soon. The first conflict scene is an unfurling plan. Everyone plays, taking the role of either members of the Authority as you hatch a plan of some nefarious nature, or the cause as you figure out how to thwart that plan. Decide together where the meeting is taking place and who else is present. Who are you both playing? What history do you have? During the conversations, anyone may ask anyone else for details. That's basically like, are we going to zoom in on the Authority making a weird plan, or zoom in on the cause fighting back against it? A covert operation. Everyone plays. The director assumes the role of various Authority or cause characters, while other players act as agents for the opposite. Discuss what kind of undercover operation you are leading and what would happen if you fail. That's basically like, you know, kind of playing out a mini mission. All-out war. Everyone plays. Players distribute themselves between the Authority and the cause evenly if possible, casting themselves as soldiers, channelers, and other members of the division or a faction. The director may freely play characters from both sides where needed to facilitate the scene. Decide together where your battlefield is, what the stakes of the fight are, and how these characters feel about the war and their place in it. That's basically just like, we want to do a cool big battle scene. A chase. 2 volunteers play, 1 hunter and 1 hunted. They should decide between them which takes the role of an Authority member and which represents the cause, on what level the chase is occurring, on foot, in a steers, etc., and why it is happening. Decide where the chase takes place and who is at risk should things get messy. 1-on-1, 2 volunteers play, locked in conflict with one another. They should decide between them which takes the role of an Authority member and which represents the cause, what form their duel takes, and what its stakes are. Decide where it takes place and who is at risk should things get messy. The discourse. Everyone plays, taking the role of either members of the Authority or the cause as key figures discussing and politicking among themselves, idly or otherwise. Decide together where this conversation occurs, who else is present, and what the power dynamic between participants is. During the conversation, anyone may ask for details. And that's it. So those are the ones we have, basically. We can do taking down a plan, or making that plan and seeing if it comes to fruition, doing a covert operation, engaging in all-out war, someone chasing down someone else, a one-on-one duel, or a political kind of debacle. And it's so how these play out is a division is enacting one of them. One of the authority divisions is saying, hey, we're doing this. And then you can have as many cause factions opposing them as you want. But there must always be a cause faction opposing one of the division. And each can only oppose once during the conflict turn. So if the bellboys oppose the chase, if it's the bellboys running, say swinging through the towers trying to get away with some information, they can't then participate when we do all out war because they were busy elsewhere. Does anyone have any ideas here, or any scenes game conflict scenes they particularly like, and which authority they think might be doing it? What's up, Fab?
Well, I mean, I had an idea.
Yeah. This is a very collaborative space.
Tell me if this works. So, a covert op.
Sure.
Several members of the Gloaming Coven trying to break into an office, or like trying to steal some stuff from a high-ranking professor's office.
Yeah, that's absolutely works. That's rad.
From
Okay.
the Hall of Meisters.
From the Hall of Meisters.
So
Literally
basically,
what I was thinking.
how this works, everyone plays. The director assumes the role of various authority and cause characters, while other players act as agents for the opposite. Discuss what kind of undercover operation you are leading and what happens should you fail. Okay, so this is the Gloaming Coven playing against the Hall of Maesters. Is it just the Gloaming Coven, or is anyone else participating?
I think it's just the Gloaming Coven.
Okay.
They may have informed others of the plan, or maybe they were given orders, but for discretion, they're the only ones involved.
Mm-hmm. All right. So do you all want to play members of the Gloaming Coven, or do you want me to and all play the members of the Authority who are kind of there at the college, or do you all want to play people at the college and I play the Gloaming Coven?
I vote we play the people in the college.
So you want me to play the covert
Spies.
ops team, the spies,
And
you
we're the
all-
authority.
and you're all the
Yeah.
authority.
Yes, because then we
Yeah.
get to screw ourselves over. It's
Yes,
much more
I like that.
Okay. The director
Fudge some
assumes
run.
the director assumes the role of various authority or cause characters, while other players act as agents for the opposite. Discuss what kind of undercover operation you are leading and what happens should you fail. Does that work within this framework? Because now that I'm reading it, I'm wondering if it's...
Yeah, so
So the Gloaming Coven has heard that there's like so we know that
Oh, okay.
students are
The way-
missing and their powers are being leached, right?
Right.
it's
So the way this works out is whoever you are playing are the agents, and I am the one the operation is taking place against. So I should, in this case, I should be the one playing the authority, and you should be the agents of the Gloaming Coven,
Okay.
because the agents progress through the mission while the director issues them the challenges. Although the idea of a bunch of people from the Maesters trying to break into like a Gloaming Coven stronghold is very funny. And just like failing
Storm check.
miserably is good. Or maybe succeeding, who knows? So which way do we want to play that? Do you want to be breaking into the college, or do you want members from the college trying to break into a Gloaming Coven stronghold?
I mean, I don't know if they have much of a stronghold.
Right, like a decentralized base or something.
they hide papers in their lockers. I was like,
yeah. Don't look under the mattress, dude. I would vote in this case that we play the Gloaming Coven trying
Yeah.
to
Okay.
break into someone's office.
So I'm playing just the people around the college. So the next step is, who are you? What part of the division or what factions are you tied to? Why were you chosen for this, and what do you think about the mission? We already know the faction you're tied to, but everybody take a quick minute and figure out who you are, which members of this coven you're going to be, and why you were chosen for this mission, and what you think about it. This, to be clear, this faction includes not only students but some professors who were like, "Hey, this shit's not cool," and then went over to the other side. So you don't just have to be students; you could be faculty or staff as well.
All right, I'm going to be playing Cassandra Dorn. She's a student who specializes in illusion magic. Her familiar is a little hummingbird.
I was just about to ask.
I am going to be playing Agnes Kiloram.
Could you spell the last name for me?
Killoram.
Agnes Kiloram.
I'm gonna change my name in Discord.
Cool.
Or in Zoom.
And
let's.
she's got what looks to be a cybernetic goat.
Yes.
A cybernetic goat.
Yep.
Is that her familiar, or does she just have a cybernetic
that's-
goat?
Both.
Ooh.
It's
has
the
she?
spirit of an actual goat that inhabits a cyborg.
Oh, cool. So she like built a body for her. This is like quasi Seisha stuff.
Yes.
Of like building the focus and channeling magic through it, except she did it for her familiar.
Yeah.
Love it. Cybernetic goat. Fantastic. Okay. Cassandra, it's obvious why Cassandra was chosen. Illusion magic is very helpful here. Why was Agnes chosen for this mission?
She is a elementalist.
Okay. Needs like muscle or
Like she's specializes in like elemental magic.
right. So is she like the muscle? Is she the one who's like,
Yeah,
if shit
I
goes
guess.
bad, I'm gonna
Yeah.
burn people? Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
When do we make out?
This
is Kissing Capes, right?
anytime you want. Okay, like it plays similar, but no.
Hold on.
Different game. Drew or Kim?
Kim, do you want to go?
Sure. I will play Elena Armstrong, like a TA. Let's say I'm just on a theme. Elemental magic, but like water.
Okay.
So
You said
like-
the first name was Elena?
Elena. Yeah. Elena. Elena Armstrong.
Okay. Armstrong.
But like water elemental magic. And her familiar is, like Norse mythology, like the knock. It's like the water spirit, like the
A knockin'. Knock.
Yeah,
neck.
it takes the shape of like the horse.
Mhm.
Yeah, that.
Water horse.
Yeah.
Water
Okay.
horse.
Why
Water
was
horse.
Elena chosen for this clandestine mission?
I think like the swiftness and speed aspect of like water and like the different things you can do with water magic and freezing things or just taking water out of air to pick locks or wash
That's-
people away, stuff like that.
Sounds good. Drew.
I will be playing Edward Pike. He is a professor, and he's got a large barn owl familiar, and he was literally chosen to be lookout. That's his whole job.
What is he what is he the professor of? He's got to have a lot of skill if he's a professor. What does he teach?
Oh God.
Or is it just like he like something magic adjacent? It's not like I don't.
Oh
take
yeah. He's like
charm
magic.
class.
He's got a
Familiar
little bit of
care.
magic, but he's
Familiar.
Like,
He's the Hagrid of.
yeah, he's not like great. He's just here to keep lookout and lend some authority in case they get caught. Like,
Right.
maybe he catches them first and is like,
of course. There's
ushers
some
them
credit.
away.
Yeah, there's credibility there. Like just having a professor is great.
And
Like
he's
all
a
these
grumpy old
students
man.
love it.
Yeah.
he's very angry. He hates all of these children.
Very.
I'm a TA,
excited.
okay? Like I'm above the.
All right. So
I'm a fourth year. I could be a prefect.
Are you younger than 30? He hates you.
real quick, what do all your characters think about this mission? Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Are you excited? What's up?
It's dangerous. We shouldn't be here. We could be expelled.
I can't. Oh my God, Drew.
Drew the Monarch. Please tell me you did all of this just for the bit.
Maybe.
Fantastic. So here for it.
Oh my God.
Ah,
We automatically
incredible.
succeed.
Yeah, that should just be a win right there.
That's bonus points for just the monocle in general. I love it. I'm so happy that happened.
Glad you enjoyed that. Edward thinks this is a he doesn't think this mission is going to have a big enough payoff for this risk.
Elena is disillusioned with life and academia, and she just wants to burn it all down. So she's ready. Whatever happens, she's ready.
Don't let Elaine in the library.
Your water.
What about Cassandra?
100% believes in the cause.
Mhm.
She's gung ho, ready. She thinks it's gonna go perfectly.
Are you questioning our loyalty?
No, never.
Lies.
It sounds like the opposite, right? Because Edward Pike
I mean,
is like
she does question why so many brutish members were chosen for what should very obviously be a very discreet mission.
Elena and Cassandra have like been talking way too much about the school is just a lie. we,
Mm-hmm. There
But
aren't
no.
enough female professors in in positions of power, and it's really created a major social imbalance.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, playing the scene. As the agents progress through their mission, the director issues 3 challenges. Once all have been resolved, the scene is brought to an end. For each challenge, a player must volunteer and flip a coin. Heads in the challenge will play out in the cause's favor. Tails, the authorities. And then they narrate their response, and the scene continues on until the challenge is made. So give me a quick rundown. The basic scene here is you're breaking into a professor's office, right? So this is like out of the dorms. This is on campus. I as much as I'm reticent to use it, it is very difficult to not go Hogwarts with the idea here of like, look, this is a big, weird, old magical boarding school. And I think there is like, or rather, actually, Owl House is definitely a good touchstone. If you haven't watched Owl House, everyone go watch that. It's incredible. But like, it's like, what if like a high school was just magic? And I think one of the things we're seeing here is like there are long marbled hallways. Again, if you're breaking into I guess I'll ask you, is this like a high profile professor, or is this someone who's like won't notice if something goes missing?
I mean,
Obviously,
I would
high
imagine
profile.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Let's just go all the way to
So-
10 right away. Come on.
Yeah.
all the way to 10
There's like
right
a-
away. Perfect.
Yeah, there's like a list or a date book, like some crucial piece of information we're trying to retrieve.
Right, of course. So in interest, you're breaking into the personal office of Professor Zendari of the College of the Blue Eye.
I was going to suggest that, but I was like,
Um,
But here we are.
Of course, because like we're involving the Hall of Meisters, right? So like you are
Yes.
breaking in to steal her research because, this kind of fits in again with the cybernetic goat and ties to Seisha, because like what they are researching is how do we channel magic through body, and what forms that can take. So you are in a long, I think we open as like a door opens up, and maybe even like Scooby-Doo style, like whoop 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 whoop, all the heads come out.
Mhm.
And it is a long hallway that just sort of goes into blackness. There are not lockers, so to speak, as there are like a lot of esoteric statues up against walls. There are like busts of previous professors and like esteemed graduates. There are paintings and frescoes of Asir battles and important demon summonings and things like that. And I am going to present you with your first challenge. Tight guard patrols threaten to catch you. How do you evade them? So for each challenge, a player volunteers and flips a coin. Heads in the challenge will play out in the cause's favor, tails the authorities. They then narrate their response, and the scene continues until the next challenge is made.
I am gonna say clearly it's this is where Edward's whole thing is, and he's just going to go distract them. Just kind of walk up to they're probably, I feel like they're patrolling like in a, not in a group, but like there's multiple passing the same spot every couple of minutes, like in a standard, like a pattern. So he's walking up and he's trying to catch to him, and he's excuse me, I've seen multiple students out in the quad and they should not be there at this hour.
So it's just straight up
Yeah, just like
Edward
trying to get them to go away.
Okay, I think like these are just like college guards. What these are is these are fourth year students who are like, oh, we volunteered for night shift patrol. So flip a coin. Heads, it goes in your favor. Tails, the authorities.
I'd have a question. Do you want me to use an actual coin, because I'll have to get up to get one?
You could roll a d6
Okay.
and pick odds, heads, tails, evens, whatever works.
I'm gonna say evens are heads, just
Evens
because
are heads.
I like the way that works.
Evens are the cause, tails. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 6.
Even.
Thank you.
Cool. Then they narrate their response. The scene continues. Sorry. You're supposed to flip beforehand, and then you narrate how it goes for you. Which in this case I think is we'll do that for the next one. But in this case I think it's definitely like they're like it's two students who are like they're definitely in your class. And they're like,
yes.
They're like, yes, of course, Professor. Sorry, Professor Pike, and I'll have that essay in on Tuesday. Promise. And they just run off down the hall towards the quad. They're little like blue glow lamps dangling in the light, and you see them pass into the darkness. And then to your left, you can see more glow lamps coming. So you quickly usher on to the next area. Give me a quick. I don't know how long these are going to take, so we'll kind of play it by ear and figure it out. But like, give me a quick scene of what's going on here, like from the perspective of your character.
I'll just lean over to Cassandra. Guaranteed he won't have that paper in. I'm in his class.
I'm pretty sure I saw him trying to pay someone to write it in the library yesterday.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Hey, I have to grade those papers, okay? I don't want to know that.
So this is not a smattering of students. This is a professor, his TA, and 2 of his students.
This is just a field trip.
Yes,
Yes.
We weren't randomly chosen. It was
A
like, hey,
field's
go pitch some kids.
fantastic.
Okay, fuck it. I'll
Yeah.
just get these kids in my class.
Mr.
I
Pike,
don't- I
what's the
d-
best spell for this?
I don't know that that one makes sense. So here we go. The next one is
Can I get an extension on my paper that's due tomorrow?
No, if you're not done already, you're too late. You've got an F.
This
Okay,
is
so
why
tell me to grade it,
I
I'm
did
sorry.
mine the day it was assigned.
Now you're just
Oh
being
my
a
God,
suck
me
up.
too. Oh, I mean, no, I didn't.
so. I used guards too much. I like the next one. Your intel turns out to be inaccurate. How do you get lost and how do you re-find your way? Someone volunteer for this one. So we'll volunteer before the solution and then flip and then we'll figure out how it goes.
I have an idea.
Yes,
I don't
Agnes.
think I'd work for this.
Are you volunteering, Agnes?
Yes.
Then roll. Evens, heads, tails, odds.
Okay. That's a 3.
Oh, odds. So this goes in the authorities' favor.
Oh, no.
Fuck.
So, do you? I have an idea here. If you don't, but I'm interested to hear what you have.
I do. So our intel's wrong and we get lost.
Mm-hmm.
And I send my goat up to a wall and this kind of like wire comes out from the side of its neck and plugs into nowhere particular on the wall. Like it just kind of like burrows and this kind of map just appears above its head.
Hmm. So it like taps into just the architecture of the building.
Yes. And I
Cool.
think what happens is it's just the map is still wrong.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh, I was going to
Um,
suggest that like they had
Is
to
it-
move offices because there was like a like.
Or is
in-
it is
like
this
this-
part of
there was a
like,
sudden function and like it was raining in their office, or there was
Oh.
something else
or
happening.
even like, because we know, the city is always changing, and like,
Mhm.
you might walk out a door. Is it part of the school's defense
right.
to sort of?
You get lost and you're like, oh shit, the change happened, and so the goat plugs in, and there's I think what happens is the map, like you said, the map is still wrong. It's like, oh crap, there's either some sort of hex or enchantment that like obfuscates creating a map like that of this place. It just hasn't been like perfected yet.
Agnes forgot to update the iOS.
Sorry, my goat is still running on ice cream sandwich. It's not updated to snickerdoodle or whatever that is.
I'm still on goat.
But yeah, I like that. So like like what's this look like as Agnes leads you all to the wrong place?
We get to where the office is supposed to be, and
Mhm.
instead it's just like there's no door. It's just like an open. Where a door is, it's just like an open space that opens into
Mhm.
just like an open area where an office should be, and it's just a
Gotcha.
space. There's nothing there.
It's just like
alcove.
would nobody repurpose this yet?
Yeah.
It's just empty. So next you've kind of gotten back on track, moved through a different area. Well, if her office isn't there, maybe you could, I think your goal is like, okay, well, let's check the labs. The labs have some sort of have at least a little bit of a greater degree of stability. And since what you're looking for is research anyways, hey, maybe it's there. And you come to her research area, her research lab, where it is a room full of crystals held in devices, suspended from ceilings, crude, nowhere near as fine as Seisha's prosthetics, and just all sorts of like, I'm trying to think whiteboards, but it's not quite like whiteboards. They're like crystals that project like hollow displays that you can write on of like various ways in which magic intersects with both the physical form and the spiritual form, and just all sorts of dead ends everywhere. And then there is like a bit that is kind of like highlighted at the bottom, and you will need to secure, basically you figure out you need to secure like a research crystal, something that she has used to record this information, but is currently locked in her desk. And as soon as you go to the safe, one of you can volunteer for it, but I want to know who notices that there is a trap, like sigil etched into the safe itself.
My magic's not good for this.
Oh, here's what it is. It's Elena sees that the safe is actually under an illusion. That it is being hidden. The safe is not the safe. Something else in this room is the safe. So a magical trap bars your way. How is it bypassed? And anyone can volunteer for that, but I think like that just feels like a good way to notice it. But if it is Elena, that's totally fine.
No, I think that works.
There's only
working with the professor. It's like, no, like professors magically enchant their crap all the time to hide it, either personal effects or they have to hide the tests from the students. So
bottles.
Sure,
there's only 3 challenges for each of these, so each time someone is not going to get to roll, but it's important to be like everybody should still participate a little bit, and you have also just created characters of these factions who are absolutely going to show up again, assuming they don't die in some way. So yeah, does Elena want to challenge or take on this one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
we'll see how this works
again, evens, heads, odds, tails.
Well, it was definitely tails.
I rolled a 1.
Oh
Tails.
no!
Way to ruin it, kid.
I know.
Yeah.
Let me just delete.
No.
I was already 2 pages into her backstory, Kim.
Why'd you do that? So I imagine that Elena, familiar with like the professor's hiding things, is using her familiar and like extending her spirit to try and suss out what is the real location, and just probably inadvertently triggers the trap in whatever form that looks like.
Yeah.
Probably just backfires on her, I imagine. It's the terrible end result of that.
So here's the thing. Each what I think happens is you find the illusion safe and then open it and didn't notice there was an alarm spell.
Oh.
No.
So each scene has its own setup and instructions for play, detailing who the players are and what they're doing. Each also has its own list of challenges. We've done all that. When a challenge is won, the cause gets a die. When it is lost, the authority gets a die. Basically, whichever side wins gets the die. So in this case, the authority is 1, 2, so they have 2 die, and you have 1, 1, so you have 1 die. But it might. Once all 3 challenges have been played, it's time to end the scene. Choose a resolution. Then the cause gathers the dice it has earned during the challenges and rolls them. If they roll higher than the division's stake, they are victorious. Otherwise, the authority overcomes them. If the cause didn't earn any dice, roll 2 and take the lowest. Oh, so sorry. The authority does not gain dice when they succeed or when you fail. You just only gain a die when you succeed. So you have 1 die. And you have to roll higher than a 4 on this.
Someone not me.
But
Cassandra,
first we have to choose the conflict outcomes. After a conflict scene is played out, the victorious side may choose a conflict outcome from their list. Wait, am I reading this right? By the way I'm reading it,
I think we have to do the resolution and then the
Yeah.
conflict outcome.
Yes.
it says
But-
choose a resolution, then the cause gathers the dice. Okay,
Yeah.
right. So,
Yeah.
this is resolutions. The agents are discovered and exposed. Can they still escape? Or the agents escape without being caught? How do they celebrate?
I think
feel
it
like
has
we're
to be the first
discovered.
one. Yeah.
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 The agents are discovered and exposed. Can they still escape? Which is totally like oh, now you roll. So this is absolutely, there is like a noise outside and bright light flashes underneath the door, and the door is thrown open and in walks Professor Zandari.
Oh no.
Because you have triggered her personal alarm. And roll. You get to roll your one die.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Since I didn't get to flip a coin. All right, kitty. Kiss it. Good luck. Mwah. Nope. 3.
Oh no.
And now the
Um,
cat's playing with the dice.
Oh, let's see. Writing in my notebook. I've killed us all.
The authority overcomes them. If the cause didn't earn any, so for scenes where everybody plays, choose a resolution
Oops.
together. For two-person scenes, so everybody played. The winning side narrates their answer to the resolution. We already did this. So the answer to the resolution is, I think what we see is one thing you can do is, if you want to, you can tap the cabal,
Mm-hmm.
not the cabal, the gloaming coven, and automatically succeed here, but they will be tapped.
I mean,
They're tapped once though.
They're just
3
tapped
times and
once.
they're
It's
wiped.
2 times and they're wiped.
Oh, 2 times in a row.
But you'll have an opportunity to untap them during downtime. So
I mean,
you can.
yes. Yes.
Yeah. Is this literally the ace in your hole, which is that Pike is also a professor?
I think
Well, we have illusion magic. We have like quickness.
Yeah,
water
what
magic. We have
happens
Professor.
so the coven we know works in like strange unknown spells. And in case of emergency, they taught one to Cassandra that would throw up a very quick but super strong illusion.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives them, a very short escape window. And she like burns that spell.
Gotcha.
There's some sort of like rare component.
It's like, look, you can't. You gotta have some sort of bound creature, or it is a favor from an elemental or something it's going to cost you resources that you're not going to be able to get that easy. So the gloaming coven will be tapped, and I think that's just, we see the flash, the camera goes outside and we see the door open, and she just looks around and goes to the safe, opens the safe up, sees it, all of her stuff is in there, closes it. It's like
eyeballs in the wall going.
and then she leaves, and you do get the success there, because you tapped your thing.
We threw a smoke bomb down and.
Yes.
That means you get to choose a cause outcome. A participating faction of your choice makes its move. A seized faction is replaced. No one's seized yet. A seized region with 0 grip is freed from the authorities' control. So that's another thing to note, that 0 grip still means it is under the authorities' control. A division with no keys is destroyed or dispersed or replaced. There's no division that has no keys. So you could free a region here. I don't know that really applies. There's no seized factions, but you could have a participating faction make its move, which would be that the gloaming coven starts a 4-step clock to discover something new and useful.
I think that's a good idea.
I think that one makes the most sense in this
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, let's do that.
Discover something from Professor Zandari's research.
I crossed out "Oops, we died" in my notebook.
1 of 4.
'Cause that was my
And-
note.
I don't know if we
Blooming-
would die, just all the magic sucked out of us. Slowly, painfully. Eventually die.
Yeah, then
Blooming-
like hung
yeah,
upside down.
you know,
by your
who
feet
knows what
and-
would have happened there? But you
Would
all
have
managed
lost
to get
my
out.
job.
There
My
goes my
tenure.
tenure.
Do you know how hard it is to get tenure at a magic school?
Especially a magic school run by fascists.
That's even worse.
So you've got one step on that. Basically they can keep downtime will let you help them out with those projects and stuff like that, I believe. So that basically they have found her research and can start working on it and discover something new and useful, and we'll figure out what that is when we come to it. We got 2 more challenges to go through. What time are we ending tonight?
Can we aim for like 10:30? I've had multiple late nights in a row, and I am.
We can aim for 10:30, so let's take a quick break. These next ones, now that we kind of know how they work, we can keep a little bit tighter. And then we'll probably, just because I don't know that it's going to be the most interesting thing, we'll see how it plays out. Maybe do downtime off stream, so we don't just have end up having 3 sessions of downtime, conflict turn, and then we'll see how it pans out. And if that's something we want to do, but let's take a quick 10 and bathroom break, all that jazz.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Done.
Be right back.
Are we off? Hi, welcome back, everyone. We did a tiny bit of talking off screen, picked out our next two games because we kind of know where we're going. Kit, why don't you tell us what our next one is, since it was your pick.
So the Remoras have decided to gracefully do a striking run, an all-out siege on the military-industrial complex that is the Arcanite.
Well,
Ooh.
all-out war between the Arcanate and the Remoras. So, everyone plays. Players distribute themselves between the Authority and the Cause evenly if possible, casting themselves as soldiers, channelers, and other members of the division or a faction. The director may freely play characters from both sides where needed to facilitate the scene. Decide together where your battlefield is, what the stakes of this fight are, and how these characters feel about the war and their place in it. Freely roleplay the clashing forces, Aestir against Aestir, carrier versus carrier, and so on. During the struggle, anyone may ask anyone else for details on the situation and circumstances. During the scene, any player or the director may issue a challenge to someone on the opposite side. The challenge player must flip a coin. Heads, and the challenge will play out in the cause's favor. Tails, and the authorities. They then narrate their response, and the scene continues on until the next challenge is made. And there are 3 challenges at any given time. So let's I'm gonna ask y'all, since I go back and forth between these. Who wants to play? We need 2 people to be Remoras and 2 people to be on the Arcanate.
I'll be an Arcanate.
Love it. Fab, love that you're like, my rival is a part of them. I'm gonna play on their side.
I will also
pick. Oh wait, sorry.
You're talking first, Drew.
I was just gonna say I'll let Kim pick. Kit, I assumed you were gonna be a Remora.
Oh, I was gonna go for an Arcanate actually.
Oh shit! Okay, that's
Oh,
awesome
shit.
because I wanted to be a Remora. But I was gonna
Let's go,
someone
Drew.
pick
Me.
before me. Let's go.
Okay, so for Remoras, I've got Kit and Kim.
No.
Drew and Kim.
Drew.
Drew and
Yeah.
Drew and Kim.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change that T to an M. Archons are Kit and Fav. I swear I pay attention. Okay, so where is this battle taking place? Is the Apollyon involved, or do the Remoras have a carrier of their own?
I feel like they have a small. It's not as like it's like could carry maybe 2 Aestir total.
So it's probably smaller than the Apollyon, but they have more of them.
Yeah, they're like meant to be smaller, more agile.
Gotcha. And I absolutely think the presence of Parsoon is here. The big carrier, the tier 5 Apollyon sized carrier that the Arcanate has.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to see that thing
Yeah.
on screen.
Great.
And where is this battle taking place, and what's the I mean, we kind of have established already because we know what we want to do the next one for. This is just a big distraction.
Mhm.
I feel like
What
this
if
is a
it's-
battle over High Crown.
Oh, High Crown. Okay,
Ooh.
I like it.
Oh, a big battle, like the Remoras came and hit High Crown.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Hell
so
yeah.
So the chase has to be something big.
Look.
If this is a distraction for whatever that is, it's got to be big. If they're
going
like,
to
fuck it,
11.
we're gonna hit High Crown
Yeah.
to distract for that. That's just me. That's just what I'm imagining.
I think I have an idea.
Well, we'll get to the
Okay.
chase
We'll get to
soon.
that.
So this is what we established is we know we want to do a chase for the next one. And so the war is a bit of the all-out war is a bit of a distraction to pull major factors away from that. So the Remoras have basically attacked High Crown in an effort to rile up the Arcanate and keep them distracted. Is the stakes here. So does anyone want to tell me about the Remoras or the Archons that they're going to be playing for this? I'm very curious to see what kind of characters we get.
I already have one.
Yes, who is your Archon?
I am playing Alvar, the Guardian of Harmony.
Alvar, Guardian of Harmony. Is Alvar an Archon yet?
He's yes. He's
Okay.
an Astyr driver.
Okay, he's an Aster pilot.
Yeah, he's a pilot.
Gotcha.
But he's not like the big person that we fought last time. He's
Okay, so he's gotcha. I forget what I called them. Let me pull it up.
Guardian, the Archon of the Dawn.
Neophyte.
the
He's a
neophyte.
neophyte. He has not yet bound a demon into his talisman.
correct.
Okay, and they call why is he called the Guardian of the Dawn?
A Guardian of Harmony.
Harmony.
Harmony, yeah.
He is one of the neophytes that is working closely underneath what's her nose? The person we nearly killed.
Luciel.
Luciel.
Yeah.
He helps with prepping Chance.
Okay. Cool. Who's next? Who's got a character for us?
I will be playing Captain Dune Iverness. He leads a squadron of ground forces.
All right. Are they like the cool the knights, the ones who had like the Arcanate like power armor but weren't quite full talismans, or is it just like straight up foot soldiers?
Now they're straight up foot. They're beefy foot soldiers.
Gotcha. All right, leading squadron of foot soldiers. Okay, Drew and Kim, please tell me about your remoras, your cool ass sky pirates whose home was destroyed by the Authority.
Do you want to go first?
Sure. I'm going to be playing Otto the Lear Zinn. He is a daredevil carrier pilot. That's his whole thing. That's all he's good at. And he has
Otto's...
a terrible face scar, which makes him have a weird mouth.
Okay. Otto Zinn, the daredevil pilot. Daredevil carrier pilot. And Kim.
I'm going to play Kurt Maldonado. He is an Aster pilot. His Aster is the Silver Tongue. It's just a big like silver Aster. Has a long like bladed sword that's like jagged, and like a ruby red color. And yeah.
Cool. So here's what I'm going to say is this is going to be a fun one. During the scene, any player or the director may issue a challenge to someone on the opposite side. I think I would like to see y'all do that if you're cool with it. That might be fun. So what I'm going to say is the way this starts is we are on what is the name of the carrier that Otto Zinn pilots?
Oh, don't mind me just going to Fantasy Name Generator.
Hey, that's my favorite thing to have up during
Best.
recording sessions.
That's where I've got all my shit from.
Here we go. This is what I was looking for. It was faster to Google it. It's gonna be the sudden corruption.
Oh God,
Ooh.
love it. We are zoomed in. We are inside on the flight deck of the Sudden Corruption, and it is very Star Wars. The opening of a Star Wars movie where like alarms are going off and just people are running about doing all sorts of things. And there is like a person who is like, okay, flight check clear, fuel levels clear, ammunition loaded, and then like hits a button and there's like a pss, 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 as like cables fall off of the Silver Tongue. And the carrier door opens and the Silver Tongue, and whichever Astyr is loaded in front of it, just the asteroid loaded in front of it launches out and is immediately just torn to shreds, obliterated in shrapnel. And the silver tongue launches out, and our camera follows over the shoulder as you are above High Crown, and fighter ships are swirling through the air, and we can see Alvar. Alvar pilots just a talisman, not a full-on corrupted talisman like a true Archon, just gunning things down or slashing at them with swords, whatever it is you do. And there's carnage here. And one of the main things that's happened is a big these two big crystals have been activated that have put sort of like a barrier around High Crown, and we see Remora ships that get shot down just like smash onto it and like slide off the sides. They don't actually collapse into anything, but then we also totally see them like roll off the side, bounce, and explode somewhere in, the city down below where fancy rich people don't live. And that's what we open up on. That's our opening scene for the all-out war. So anyone can at any time propose a challenge. I think we should probably keep it tighter and just go kind of straight with those. If anybody has a challenge they want to propose to another character, go for it. And we'll see what happens. Or you just tell me what your character's doing, and we could see, hey, maybe that's a challenge there. I'm cool with whatever. This is just go for the scene.
I've got one already.
Okay, cool. Alvar, Guardian of Harmony, what's up?
I see the silver tongue drop out of right after the last Astyr that I butchered. And I... Ooh, next page. Come straight for you, weapons ready. Can you stop me?
I knew you were going to do it.
The challenged player must flip a coin.
Cool.
So in this case, roll a die. Heads, the challenge goes to the cause. Tails, the authority. So heads is even, tails is odd.
That's a 6.
Hey, it goes to you. So yeah, can you then narrate your response, and the scene continues until the next challenge is made. So can you stop them?
I think he gets dropped out, seeing the Aster like ripped apart in front of him, and Kurt's looking around and catches Alvar flying at him. And you said you had guns, right? Are you shooting at Alvar, or how are you approaching in the attack? Or are you slashing?
He's got
or
a force blade.
A force blade? Okay.
Yeah.
I think Kurt does a like a swift roll to the side, and then is making like a slash, not necessarily connecting, but just enough to also just add to that urgency of you pulling back to give more room to clear his position so he can fall back and defend from your attacks as well.
Cool. Got these two big Astyrs doing battle just on this like giant shining dome above the city. It's fucking rad. Anyone else have one?
I have one.
All right,
and
Otto.
That is Otto waits for the silver tongue to launch, and then rolls the whole carrier, knowing that they're not going to be able to just like avoid this juicy bait of Astyrs being launched, and just unexpected ambush at Alvar, because there's guns all over the top of the ship, and they just open fire on him.
Okay, so Alvar, you're the one who's been challenged. I lead an unexpected ambush. Do I take you by surprise? From Otto. So give us the roll.
That's a 5.
So 5 goes in the authorities' favor. So yeah, how does Alvar pull through here?
He uses his force blade to block them, and then sheathes it and pulls out his rifle and shoots it. Shoots
Cool.
back at the carrier.
It's just boom, 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 slash, slash, slash.
Yeah.
This is, just carrier looming over the city. I love like the shadows, the shells rain down. I'd like to pass the camera here. So it's one for authority, one for cause. So I'd like to pass the camera here to Captain Dune Iverness.
So,
What's going on with you?
So the ground forces are currently in charge of evacuating citizens. And so this sort of like defensive crystalline structure that has gone up, I imagine are like almost like gates all around the outside of High Crown, like large like obelisks that can be activated. And inside the obelisks there are gates to get people in and out. And so Captain Dune and his squad are ushering in a group of school children. But they have no other cover. It's just them. And the crystal is vulnerable.
Captain Dune is vulnerable. Do you
Captain Dune is vulnerable.
Okay.
And so there's like pew 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 pew. And I'm going to say to the Silver Tongue, who notices this, our battle endangers a group of civilians. Do you hold back?
You baked me out on which one you were gonna do.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be the more
oh.
exposed and vulnerable. You're just using the language for it.
No.
Also, I was like, but
what about the children?
So yeah, you gotta roll here.
I gotta roll to hold back and spare the children.
Well, I think the thing is like even if you don't hold back, you're not forced to kill civilians or anything. Obviously, this could just be like we did it, but I did it in such a way that succeeded in helping the civilians. But like failure to me feels like, oh, they got away. Or it could be that like, no, you just like made the cause look bad because you killed a bunch of civilians.
The tone of your voice when you said, oh, they got away, made it sound like that's not what you wanted.
So,
oh no,
are you
the
using
school
these
children
children?
escaped.
Oh no, the school children, when we know that the school in this place is terrible.
Yeah.
Are you using these school children as like a meat shield for this crystal?
Oh god,
100%.
so it's
Oh
even
my
worse.
God, the authority's a monster.
It's the Arcanate. They don't care.
Yeah,
That's true.
exactly.
I hate it.
All right.
But I love it.
So
They're
give me that roll.
expendable.
Kurt Maldonado.
Maldonado.
Maldonado is a very good name. I mean, these are all very good names. We've had incredible names.
Random
All
name
night?
generators for the win, man.
Right,
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I make mine up myself. Thank you.
Oh,
very
well.
much.
All right.
You're-
Dune
I didn't realize
Iverness
this was
is
a bragging
also
contest.
I rolled a 4. Thank God. Oh my God.
okay. So this goes in the towards the authority, or not the authority, the cause. So give me a quick snapshot of that, Kim or Kurt.
I think because like every Aster has like a primary ability and like a secondary ability. So I think like Kurt's secondary ability is like defensive shields that usually he can like it's like a force that he like directs for himself. But I think that he's like in that moment like able to like flip it and like redirect it in such a way that he's kind of able to like gently push the kids.
Gotcha.
It's
Cool.
like it's like a shovel on like a front of a snowplow. He just kind of like shovels them.
Love to snowplow children out of the way.
Yes.
But like, it's gentle. It's like he scoops them up and it's like no.
As Captain Iverness sees the Silver Tongue coming in, he's like, "Yes, excellent," and just like rolls his little mustache.
I'm scooping the children. moving them to safety
Damn
away
it.
from the freaking arsenic.
So let's choose the resolution here. One side is forced to rout. Are they cut down as they flee, or a truce is reached? What are its terms?
I feel like I don't like either of these, I'm being honest, because I feel like this is one of those things where actually no, I guess I feel like it's like one side is forced to rout, but it's more of like the Remoras are pulling back because they're
Yeah.
done.
Right. The Remoras are forced to rout. Are they cut down as they flee? Could be like, we're forced to rout,
Oh, yeah,
and we're
we
not
gotta
cut
leave.
down because we're
Mm.
making a defensive retreat, and that's what
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
wanted all along.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, and so like I think if this goes bad, it's like no, you are cut down as you flee.
Yeah.
So who wants to make the resolution roll?
Didn't we already?
No, we haven't.
No. So
No.
you have two for authority, so one for authority.
Oh,
and
yeah,
two,
yeah.
Or, sorry, I guess just two for the
Sorry.
cause.
Yeah.
So-
I
Drew, you
guess
should probably do
Drew,
it
because
not
he's
me.
the captain.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So give me that roll. You just have to roll higher than a 3.
6.
Awesome. So you did it. Which means you can pick a resolution here. Again, and you can narrate it too. It's just like you get away. You put up a smoke screen. Nobody really. You don't take any heavy losses.
Yeah. So this battle over
High Crown.
High Crown. I was like, I know that's not right, but it's not High Garden. That's a whole other thing. Yeah, the battle over Highgate is it's raging. You know, multiple of these like small like Remora carriers are kind of just like mowing across the city, just like blowing things apart. And then the signal comes in, and the Astir and the carriers begin to make this like it's a very slow retreat at first, and as they meet up and then kind of just dive down towards the city, trying to keep the authority from fire on them as they get closer to the civilians. More or less just putting them in a position of, if you fire at us, you're going to kill a bunch of your own people, and they're going to watch you do it too.
Yeah. And you get away. So you can choose participating faction of your choice makes its move. Which in this case, the Remoras, they reduce a scheme clock by 1 step and increase a beneficial scheme clock by 1 step. Enemy currently has no schemes on the board, but you can still increase one of your own by 1. And then the other options, do they apply here? A Sea's faction is replaced? No. A Sea's region with 0 grip is freed from authority control. Yeah, I could see if one of the 0 places is freed as a result of this.
We could free the underdog.
Yeah, that could be. Is that like the Remoras just go there and people are like, hell yeah, you guys rule, and now like that's where they kind of chill and refuel, and the authority just doesn't.
Let's do that. Like
Okay.
they make a new home for themselves. Like you
I mean-
took our home, we like got one back. Fuck you.
Also, like that's literally why they call themselves Remora Squadron. Is like they're literally like kind of a like feeder stuck onto the big fish.
Yeah.
Which was like my initial idea. Like they kind of fly around outside and come in, but like now they're just like stuck to the bottom. I think like this is probably the point where they earn the name Remora Squadron.
Yes. I love that.
And so like Underdock is freed. It's completely free of authority control now. Because there was 0 grip. As long as you're cool with that. Is everybody's cool with that?
Yeah, actually I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. But not only that was a distraction for the next one, which Drew was your pitch, a chase. So what are we doing for a chase? I'll read a chase real quick. 2 volunteers play, 1 hunter and 1 hunted. They should decide between them which takes the role of the authority member and which represents the cause, on what level the chase is occurring, on foot, in Astirs, etc., and why, it is happening. Decide where the chase takes place and who is at risk should things get messy. So who are the 2 that want to play, and who is authority, who is cause, and who is the hunter, and who is the hunted? There's a lot of permutations here.
I kind of wanna.
Do it.
I kind of wanna play.
Okay. Is it you and Drew? Because I mean, Drew, you proposed it, so I kind of felt like you had the idea of where you wanted this to go. And I'm cool with that. Like I can sit this one out, no problem.
Yes. I have an idea.
Okay.
So the whole point of this is the cause is trying to kidnap one of the lead engineers. I say kidnap, bring aboard forcibly. One of the lead engineers at Zenith Arms and Artifice.
Okay.
That's the whole point of this thing is this is the guy that makes the best crazy gadgets to put on a steer, and they know it, and they're going for it.
So which faction is participating? You said Kabbalists, right?
Yes, the Kabbalists.
Okay, so
they want something that will increase the demon's power in the Asteers.
Wait, so are they trying to kidnap like Mr. Zenith, like who we described as like Gary Oldman in The Fifth Element? Like, are they trying to kidnap
Gary
him?
Oldman in The Fifth Element didn't make the weapons. He had
what have been? Well, and we described as he was the owner, but like, is he the one that like made, or we're just saying the main engineer?
Going back to it, Zenith Arms and Artifice is in High Crowns. This is happening during this huge battle, which is going to be a great backdrop. It is a fancy Astir shop. You go there to outfit your personal guard with fancy, interesting, and up-to-date tech. There's pomp and circumstance. This is a fancy, noble, bespoke bullshit. It's a high-end customization. While their on-premise location is a fancy country club, they have an off-site branded manufactory owned by Mr. Zenith, Gary Oldman in The Fifth Element with too many rings. The quality is dependent on how much you pay and if you can outbid your rivals. They own an orchard, and because of that, people must live two to a home. Good God!
We got like real like shitty when we wrote this one.
The true name for this place is Day Drunk at Brunch, Eagleton, and get your shoes shined and mustache waxed while your sports car is tuned up. This place sucks.
It's terrible. But the lead engineer is
very good.
He's an artist. He's good.
Okay.
Like, he's not Gary Oldman in Fifth Element. He's Gary
Mr. Zenith
weapons
is
engineer.
So
clarify.
A member of the Kabbalists has broken in an attempt to kidnap the lead engineer for Zenith Arms and Artifice, and the Redcoats are giving chase.
Yes.
Okay, so which one of you is going to play the authority, and which one of you is going to play the cause here?
Kit, would you like to pick?
I'll let you pick.
Then I'm going to go with the cause.
Okay, so
I'm perfectly okay with that. Are we on foot, or are we in...
We're in Asteers.
We're in
I think
Asteers?
we
Okay.
have to be in Asteers because an Asteer is the only thing that's going to get away fast enough.
Okay, so who's the red coat that's giving chase?
It is Alexius de la Fontaine. And he pilots the Andromeda. It is a sleek black Astir that has silver motes that look almost star-like.
One thing I want to dig into, just real quick, he's a red coat.
Yes.
So why does he get an Astir? What's cool about him that lets him have one and pilot one?
He is a...
Or maybe better question, are these Ardents? Not full Astirs.
It is more of an Ardent that he's using.
Okay. So this went from like cool big mechs to like motorcycle chase.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So the Andromeda is still a sleek. This is the equivalent of like their cool.
It's a movement Ardent.
Right. So it's just not as like big and bulky and like armed to the teeth as an Astir, but it is still. I still want to say it probably looks dope as hell. There's actually a particular. Let me see if I can find
It would look
something
like
for it. But
a Black Panther were it a motorcycle and it covers his body and he kind of just like hooks into it.
Okay, cool. So that is Alexis de la Fontaine, who is a redcoat. His travel ardent is called the Andromeda, black and silver. Looks like a cool panther motorcycle. Why don't you tell us about the Kabbalist, Drew?
So I'm gonna be playing. His name is Wabu. He is bald, tan, greasy. Think like the style of that. I don't know, the Viking dude in like Mercenaries back in the day.
I hate that I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. And he is piloting. It's literally just called the Storming Scouter, and it is just a. It's like a 3-wheeled motorcycle, like a trike, but it's like each wheel functions independently.
What was it
Or,
called?
First,
The Storming Scouter.
Okay. And his name is Wabu?
Wabu.
Cool. Love it. Absolutely love it. It's crazy. Yeah, y'all can have at it. Sorry. So playing the scene. Before the scene, toss a coin and call it. So Drew, roll a die, call evens or odds.
I've been getting lucky. I'm gonna call it evens.
Okay.
Yeah, it's odds.
Yes.
Okay.
Damn
So
it.
Kit is the winner here. The winner makes 2 challenges and the loser issues 1. Freely play the scene and take turns issuing challenges to one another when appropriate. When challenged, you must flip a coin, or in this case, roll a die. Heads, their answer will play out in the cause's favor, tails, the authorities. And then they narrate their response, and the scene continues. So you two are free to go. Have fun with this.
So I'm chasing you, and the streets are getting bombarded with all these things from the sky from the battle that's happening, and I use this as a moment to deploy a net of sorts that launches out from where the mouth of on my vehicle is, and it shoots out and lands relatively in front of you. Are you able, or yeah, so I deploy something magical to my advantage. What happens?
All right. Let's see what happens. Okay, well that's a 4. So what's up?
Nice.
I don't remember what that means.
That's heads. That's for the cause.
Cause gets the victory here.
Yeah. So you launch this net and it lands kind of in front of the Storming Scouter, and obviously it's going to try to close up around the Storming Scouter, but he's got the jumpy jumps and hits a button, and it just all 3 wheels just extend and launch this thing in
Super
the air
technical
over the
term.
net.
Some fucking
It's very
speed racer ass shit.
He's got the jumpy jumps.
He got the jumpy jumps.
There's a monkey in the backseat.
Mach 5. Fantastic. Okay. So since it's 2 and 1, do you want to Wabu? You issue a challenge, then we'll end on Alexius, which is a fantastic name.
Right.
Yeah. So the Storming Scouter does the jumpy jumps, lands on the other side of this net, and he he fiddles with something on the console, and it just it goes into overdrive. He basically also has NOS because it lets just full speed racer. It's nonsense. And I find a sudden burst of speed. Can you keep up?
Okay. I want to say I can. We'll see. That's a 3. So, yes.
So yes.
The wheels tuck in underneath the body of my vehicle, and all of a sudden claws extend, and all of a sudden the Andromeda starts just running and jumps up onto a wall and starts just running to get out of everybody's way as it chases you down.
All right, I'm down.
Suddenly,
Okay.
the street we're running down opens up into a crowded market.
Oh, so we're gonna slip through a crowd? Is that what's happening
Yeah,
here?
we're slipping into a crowd. Do you rush through and cause a scene?
A 2. Yeah, no, I'm rushing through, but I don't think it's hardly causing a scene. There's a battle going on all around us.
Right.
People are already running to and fro, and there's a steer and other I'm sorry, what are these fucking not
Ardents.
Ardents, yes. There's other Ardents just kind of running everywhere, and he just guns it through this market, just crashing through. Obviously there's fruit stalls.
Of course, it wouldn't be a market chase without him.
Not at all. Crashing through fruit stalls. There's fruit going everywhere. People are diving out of the way, and then he ducks into an alley that you wouldn't think this Ardent could fit in, but it kind of like flips and rolls up because fuck you.
Okay.
That's it. So we have to pick an outcome. When playing out, choosing an outcome.
I feel like an escape is in sight.
Yeah. For 2-person scenes, whoever won the more challenges chooses. So it is Wabu. Wabu picks which is the final resolution to the chase. We walk into a dead end, or an escape is in sight.
An escape is in sight.
Okay.
So let's see.
I mean, I want it to be a dead end, personally, but
It would be very good if the storm the storm scouter like rolls up and rolls into that alleyway and it's just a dead end. There's nothing there. But escape is in sight is good.
I didn't plan for this. But I rolled another 6.
Oh, you're supposed to roll 2 dice on that one.
Oh shit, okay.
But you got a 6, that's fine. Because you just needed to beat the 2 that is the red coats. So you don't need to roll the other one. You have succeeded. Now the cause gets to make its move here, which is great. So a participating faction.
Where did we get 2 dice for that one?
Because you succeeded on 2 challenges.
Yeah.
Aha. Okay. So,
Yeah. So you get to roll 2 dice. You just have to get over the stake. So you got over a 2. A participating faction of your choice makes its move. A seized faction is replaced. A seized region with 0 grip is freed. A division with no keys is destroyed. So I think this is probably going to be a participating faction of your choice makes its move, which is going to be something the Kabbalists go and something strange happens.
Oh no.
Yes. Just I don't even care what that is. Do it.
Well, here's the thing you said you wanted to occur is they take this guy and you said they were going to use him to amp up some demon stuff, right?
Oh no.
So we need a good name for this this master technician.
Hold on. Would you like to use fantasy name generator?
Yeah, give me a good name.
All right. I'm gonna look at mad scientist names.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Well.
Did you have one?
No, go for it.
All right. He calls himself just Imbalance. Dr. Imbalance.
Okay.
I
just like
does not have a doctorate.
imbalance.
Does not. Just calls himself this.
Imbalance is turns out to be a very, very good Aster engineer. Winning them over is probably going to take some time. That might be the result of a long-term project or something. But something strange happens because of the cabal.
Could I make a request?
Yes, absolutely.
Could we pull a Mrs. Bouquet? I don't know if anybody else gets this reference.
No clue what that means.
No, it was this old. Oh, okay. It was this British TV show that always played on PBS, and it was this house lady who thought she was better than everything else, and her last name was Bucket.
Yes,
but she called herself Mrs. Bouquet. Can his name actually be like Dr. Imbalance?
Of course.
He's like, I am Dr. Imbalance.
Yes,
absolutely. And I think I'm gonna offer you a choice here. No, because I was thinking like something strange happens as he's like, I immediately am cool with working with you people, but like that's not the strangeness of this. The strangeness of it is the Kabbalists have this guy, and then there's like a scene where the Apollyon is coming down to like resupply, and Wabu is there and like pulls up this black like slate crate. It's like an engraved box, and like sets it down and is like, hey, I got something for you. And I think like, you know, people are kind of crowded around there, and we get like a quick shot of Farina like going to touch it. He's like, no, no. And then like opens it up, and in there is ammunition that is like, how do I put this? It's like Vanta Black bullets. Like
bullets.
imagine if like big shells were like Vanta Black. And he's like, yeah, we got this off that imbalance guy. Should disrupt the demons in the talismans. So kind of adding this as like a thing you can use. You have 3 hold. Any of you can anyone except let me word this carefully. Anyone can spend 1 hold to basically get advantage when making an attack against one of the Arcanate's like demon possessed talismans. Farina, if you do, it's gonna piss off Flaris.
Oh, okay, cool.
These things kill demons.
And
I don't think
red shells from Band of Blades.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are. But
use
like,
them on the weakest enemy we can find.
Use them on the weakest enemy we can find. I don't think they like against normal people, normal mechs. They're normal bullets, but against the demon possessed ones, these are going to shred them. And so in the case of Farina, maybe the Adranos isn't compatible with those. So
use it in duress.
Something bad would happen. I don't know what, but something bad would happen.
Maybe don't find out.
Duress. Use it in duress.
Yeah, like you could definitely like imagine equipping those in your Inferno gauntlets. I'm sure that can't go wrong at all.
No.
The Serenity has a gun, so the Serenity can definitely use these. So that is like the thing you get from that one. I think there's probably a long-term project to deal more with that guy, but like you definitely kidnapped him. He's there being held by the cause now. So that is where we're gonna wrap for tonight. I don't have anything super big next because we didn't get to doing downtime, and I want to do downtime before we set up the next thing. So next we'll probably do downtime between now and then, set up for the next thing, and the next time we have to do a conflict turn in downtime, I won't have to explain all of it, and we know how it works, so we should be able to get through both in one session. But this has been Flight of the Apollyon and Armor Aster actual live play. Armor Stir is by Briar Sovereign, who is on Twitter at WereGazelle. Her games fucking rule. Their games, I think it's she, but it might be they. I'll have to make sure for next time. Briar's games are cool. I'm Lauren Peterson. I've been your MC. You can find me on Twitter at DM_LSP, and you can buy the games I write at dmlsp.itch.io. Let's go in reverse order from last time, because that's always fun, starting with Drew.
I am Drew Tillman, and you can find me pretty much anywhere at this point at cyber_Sasquatch. I play a very fast cat boy in Taking Initiative, who I did the math, and I think at the point where the episodes are out, he's topping like 55 miles an hour running. The other night, we're way ahead, but it got a lot faster. I think it tops out as 105.
Oh my god.
You can also find me in various places across the internet, in various podcasts. Don't have anything particularly new coming up. That's it.
I'm sorry. I thought we were just gonna keep going.
I don't remember who was next, honestly. Was it me?
Kim.
Okay,
It's Kim.
I wasn't sure. Hi, I'm Kim. You can find me on Corpses and Curios. Season 1, we played GURPS, and I'm Artemis Pruitt, a PTSD riddled former CIA agent. That's fun. Season 2, which is currently releasing, I'm running Urban Shadows. Poorly, but you know what? It's fine. Rules don't matter. We're just making it up as we go along. It's great. And yeah, the side stuff with Halcyon by Night and Mask. That's disco. That's fun. Yeah, and I'm here on Thursdays, so every other Thursday. So yeah.
What's your Twitter?
Oh, my Twitter is at Violently Ginger. Sometimes I tweet. Most of the time I don't, but sometimes I do. So yay.
Speaking of masks, we all have characters in March Masksness.
Yeah.
So go vote for our various characters. I don't have one in there, but I've got 2 podcasts in there, and most of them went on to the second round. So look, I'm the winner here. But no, all of these people I think have characters still in the game. And that's fantastic.
We do.
Yeah, we all made it.
Let's go to double right. That's going to be left because everything's mirrored. Let's go with Liz, who I've called Liz for the first time.
Yay! My name is Liz. You can find me on Twitter at Favtastical. You can find me here every other Thursday night, and you can find me on Halcyon by Nights whenever we play a game or episodes go out. And you can find me Monday nights moderating the Take This streams. Right now, Take This Plays is playing A Night in the Woods, which is a super awesome game, and you should all check it out. That's me.
Heck yeah. And then Kit, finish us off.
I'm Kit. You can find me over on my channel. Currently, I'm not streaming a whole bunch. I am writing more than I am streaming so that I can stream games. I will be probably next week starting to stream BioShock because I have an itch to replay that. So you might see me and hear some friends stream that because I have ideas to incorporate some cool things into a game I'm going to be running. Maybe for this channel. So have a look out for that.
We're so on point tonight.
We are. We're so
know
on
what's
point
happening.
tonight. We know
Fine.
what's happening. Thank you, everybody. Go watch Kit's stream. Go watch Fav's stream. Go listen to Halcyon by Night, and go listen to Taking Initiative. We do some cool things.
Go listen to Nerds on a Roll.
Yeah, go do
Everyone
that
tweet at
too.
Lauren to bring back the lab rats.
Look. There are people. I am not the barrier there. There are other people who are the barrier there.
That's fair.
Go harass them. No, I'm kidding. Don't harass them.
Somebody go harass Josh or Bucky on Twitter, which is impossible because they're not on it. And maybe lab rats get to come back. have a good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Good night.